This is Andrew Peterson, agronomist with Brant. I'm here in the Central Valley in California in an almond orchard that you can see is just about ready to be shaken for harvest. As we're going into the post-harvest period after the nuts come off the tree, we want to be thinking about the post-harvest fertility program in order to set us up for a good nut set and yield going into next season. First thing we want to talk about is running some potassium through the irrigation system. Almonds are a really high potassium demanding crop. They pull a lot of potassium out of the soil that gets taken off with them when we pick up those nuts. So we want to start to replace that potassium right away after the nuts are harvested. Good option for this is Brant Ends Up K. It's a high solubility, low salt index formulation that's ideally suited for running through drip lines. It's got a low pH, so it's not going to plug up your emitters. And there's an enzyme package in there with the potassium that's going to help to mineralize some of the organic nutrients that are there in the soil to help feed the crop and also help feed some of the beneficial biologicals in the soil. Other thing we want to consider is making a foliar spray with micronutrients, especially boron and zinc. Both of these elements are really important for pollination and nut set. Boron in particular, in season when the nuts are still on the tree, the almond holes are a big sink for the boron. So if we make foliar boron sprays while the nuts are still on the tree, a lot of that boron gets sucked up by the holes rather than going into the flowering buds for next year, which is where we want it. Whereas if we make that spray post-harvest, once the nuts are off, the boron is going to go into those flower buds where we want it, and that's going to help us get a better pollination for next year. For boron, a great option is Brant Smart Boron. It's a unique formulation in that it's a low pH liquid boron. It's also really good at getting into the leaf tissue, getting through the waxy cuticle on the outer surface of the leaf, and mobilizing that boron to get it into the flower buds where we want it for next year. So for zinc, great option is Maniplex Zinc. It is a 7% zinc product, zinc nitrate base, and we utilize our sugar alcohol carrier technology that's in all of our Maniplex products. It's really efficient at getting into the plant and facilitating mobility to mobilize that zinc into the flower buds for next year. As the crop comes off and we're picking up the nuts, think about making a potassium application through the drip system in the first irrigation if you can, or maybe in the first couple of irrigations after harvest. And as soon as you can get a spray rig into the orchard, get that spray rig out there and put those micronutrients on the tree to give you a better pollination for next year. So that's all I've got for you today. Thanks a lot and have a good harvest.